So as some of you may know, who've known me for a little while, I'm like the dollar store queen, that's right. And I'm proud of that. And I want to share with you why. Because there is magic at the dollar store. Do you guys believe in magic? Yeah? All right. Our understanding of magic can have various meanings. It could be like the illusion and deception that we see magicians use. So for example, what do you see here? You see a regular business card. And I'm saying to you, I can fit my hand through here. I might have to maneuver it a little, but I think I can do it. What do you think? Sure? I hear some sures. Some kind of, people are not saying no, but they're making the faces that way. So, maybe if I cut like a hole here right in the middle, I could fit my hand through? Possible? You might be thinking, Rev Cherie, what are you thinking? Until we know the magic, right? Until we know the magic of how to accomplish something like that. I gotta tell you, I practiced on that really long and hard. Thank you. There's also other types of magic such as the art form of rituals and incantations that one uses in the hopes of moving nature and energy, like a lot of our brothers and sisters in pagan societies. So that's a type of magic. Another type of magic can be found in items, like mystical talismans, such as the one at the Blarney Castle, the Blarney Stone in Ireland. The belief is that once you kiss the Blarney Stone, you are blessed with the gift of eloquence. They don't tell you that you have to lie on your back, arch your back upside down over the castle wall to be able to kiss that Blarney Stone. So lots of magic, right? That it can be imbued with magic and power. For some, prayer can be magical. As they pray to a deity in the heavens above, sitting on a throne, who can grant or withhold our needs or desires. Now, in unity, we go, we don't do that. We know better, right? But even in unity, we can make things magical, such as our principle of thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. That can become a magical formula for a few. For example, if we are trying to control our world and our lives, it can be comforting to have a formula to hold on to. It gives us a sense of empowerment, that we can be powerful manifestors. But then, if we fear that negative thought that comes through can manifest error in our lives, then maybe we have succumbed to seeing that principle as a magical formula. You see what I'm going? Okay. The reality is that grace, raising our vibration, raising our frequency, present moment awareness, all of that is what impacts what we manifest. Right now in our lives, what we have is the law of attraction. That seems to be the most persistent ideology right now that can have a magical twist to it. In that thinking, we have the power to attract all that we could need or want materially. I got to tell you, the other day I saw an advert, and it was for learning the secret behind the secret. That was it. Guaranteed manifestation results if you learn the secret behind the secret. You know, magic can come from fear or magic can come from joy. It really all depends on who is harnessing that magic, what their belief system is. If we are trying to control our world, it can be quite satisfying to think that we can create and shift our reality. And I feel a little moved as I'm talking about this, so please forgive me. And I think it's because in Unity we really put a lot of emphasis on this. But when we are coming from that possible fear of not being in control, the fear of not knowing, then what are we doing? Then what are we doing? We're using that principle or that law from a fear-based place. And we're giving all this power to this entity, to this thought, to this magic cure. So as many of you know, material manifestation is only one small level. It really is just one small level. And if this is your priority, it will stop working for you. Did you hear me? It will stop working for you. It has to, because you're being called to be more. You are called to be spiritual beings. You're called to live your life purpose. That's what it's calling you for. So you can't stay on just that material plane. It doesn't serve you, it doesn't serve the planet. And then there are those who create magic from joy. They see the world as full of possibilities and wonder. They're comfortable in the not knowing. They're comfortable in letting go of the control because they have faith. Faith in knowing their truth, that they are divine beings. They are eternal. And all that comes for them is for them. So all that comes to them in their lives is for them. They know this. And so they can see the wonder in the smallest of things. And they create magic in their world because they're able to see it. They also realize that they can have abundance and prosperity while having a deeper walk in their spiritual truth. They're not exclusive. Sometimes in our pendulum, we go from one extreme to the other. But we can have both. As my friend Carol mentioned today, it's an and, not a but, not an or. Now, my magical journey, I'm sure, started like many of yours. Visualizing the available parking spaces when we needed it, right? Visualizing the green lights as we're late for something and trying to get where we're going. Visualizing some material things, even relationships. But Spirit kept calling me higher, saying that there's more. So what was happening for me is my manifestations weren't happening all the time anymore. Or if they happened, they would happen in a way that I wouldn't have expected, or I didn't think it would work or look that way. Which then forced me to step out into what's my truth? What is my life purpose? And so today when I work on manifestation, I work more from a spirit-filled place. That's where my focus is when I talk about manifestation. So today when I think about magic, I look around. I look around and I see the magic that's all around us. The beauty in the smallest things. The hummingbirds that will just kind of have this like weird vertical flapping that they can just stay in one place and look at you. It's just like, wow, they're made that way. They're beautiful. And so this is probably why I love the dollar store. Because you go in the dollar store and it's like, I walk into like Wonderland. It could be anything. A frame can become a lantern. Wow. tree can transform into a chalkboard. Those plastic tablecloths, they can turn into door and window treatments for celebrations. It's just amazing. And as we saw last week, sabers can magically spread joy with bubbles, right? So there are solar toys. I had to put them in the window because they weren't moving. Actually, Graham figured that one out because I was like, they're not working, Graham, why? Right? So these solar-powered toys, they create magical animals and kingdoms. There are toys that cast spells to bring out our inner child. Do you guys remember this? I saw this and I was just like, oh, this is so cool. Look at that. That is so cool. I always wanted these. My brother got them. Why? I got the jacks. So like I can play now. There are candles that smell like our favorite candy and magically save us calories. That's pretty cool. Like this one. And then there are even ways for our light bearers to show what they are, right? By creating their energy and wearing their own light. They're light bearers. Anything is possible in the dollar store. I'm telling you, anything is possible. I usually have to have Graham help me with those. So the wizardry, all of this magic, comes to us from multiple realms. When we are in the flow of our divine nature, the aspects of thinking, feeling, and spiritual truth allow us to create all of this magic. In the flow, we focused on that we have and are enough. We have enough. We are enough. Now, I don't know about you, but when I'm feeling like I am enough, I feel satisfied. I feel joy-filled. I feel like overflowing. It can't help but go to other people. This is all from being in that flow. And when we are in that flow, we then are spiritually human. Spiritually human. Has anybody read this? This is like a... It's a primer for us when we start our journey for seminary to go through this. It's called Heart-Centered Metaphysics, and it's written by our professor, Paul Hasselbeck. One of the worst classes I've ever taken. And let me tell you why. It brought up all of my belief systems. And it was just like, me and this guy, we were going for it, you know? So here's what he says. The image and likeness human pours into humankind a perpetual stream of ideas that the individual person arranges as thoughts and forms as substance and life. While this evolutionary process is going on, there seem to be two people, one ideal and spiritual, and the other intellectual and material, which are united at the consummation, the ideal human, the Christ. Now, when Paul writes, it's interesting his name is Paul because it brought me to Paul of the Bible, but when he writes very intellectual, so then you kind of have to break it down. What are we saying? What does this really mean? We're saying that spirit, thinking, and feeling are basically the same as mind, idea, expression. That is our Holy Trinity as we understand it. Our Holy Trinity. It's expansive. By being in the flow, we are able to have a higher frequency, a higher vibration, raise our consciousness so that we activate all three realms. All three realms. So when we are in tune to our divine nature, we can then hear the spiritual possibilities in divine ideas. We get those divine ideas, and then our intellect translates them into something that we can shape here on this realm. And then our feelings of passion then manifest it right here. That's what we do when we are in the flow. So magic. You can decide what kind of magic you want to wield. Do you want to wield magic from fear? Or do you want to wield magic from being joy-filled? I got to tell you, the joy-filled one is richer, deeper, and much more expansive. But as always, we have the choice. So I invite you, the next time that you go to the dollar store, look for the magic. And then decide, what magic are you going to create? Are you going to create treasure chests, plum prizes, love tokens, recognition mementos? It's endless. And you will be seeing a lot more from dollar store stuff because I am the queen of the dollar store. Thank you so much.